Well, what makes one a champion? It's commitment, dedication, practice, and all those passion involved into something is what makes a champion. At least that's what I think. And tonight, with us on this episode of the Story Loom from the 973 show, we have some champions who's brought home the Champion of Champion Awards in something unique in yoga, all the way from India, Bangalore. So let's meet the team. Welcome to the show. Team Bahrain Yoga, welcome to the Story Loom.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, and let's begin with a small introduction about yourself. We'll start with Ehsan.
Hi, I'm really honored to be on the show. It's really a great pleasure. My name is Ehsan Azhar. I'm the founder and the managing director of Prop Yoga, and I would like to introduce my team, Nusrat and Riham, and we didn't have Zahra on board. We still have Rudresh, and we still have Dr. Komal, who was a part of the team. So I would want both of them to introduce themselves too.
Hi, first of all, thank you so much for having us. I'm Riham.
It's an honor to be here. I'm Nusrat.
Nusrat,
Yes.
okay. So we have 3 of the team members here, and as you said, we have 3 others as well, right?
Yeah.
It's great an honor for Bahrain and for team. This is fairly a new youth initiative, if I'm not mistaken, Bahrain Yoga or Prop Yoga, that's what you call it, isn't it? So let's begin with this bit of discussion as to why do you call yourself Prop Yoga?
All right, so Prop is basically a legacy.
Okay.
The name Prop came out of the yoga props itself. It's for those people who are not able to do yoga at all, coming from different sickness and different problems, especially with physical. Anything mental turns down to physical. And I myself was a sick man who was into hallucination for 2.5 years. And I found my cure through yoga. And it was under my master, Shri Bandit Ramlu, who was teaching yoga in Bahrain for more than 37 years. Mm-hmm. And I carried on from there as another 20 more years, and my legacy carries on to my students. So Prop is basically the yoga legacy of Bahrain itself. So It's moving from parampara. It's an Indian tradition of parampara where it moves from master guru to shishya and further on. So we are descending down from Krishnamacharya, who was the master of B.K. Iyengar. And from B.K. Iyengar, it moved on to my master with the Shri Bandit Ramalu, and it moved on to me, and it's now further moving as well.
How many students do you have at the moment?
I cannot count them.
Okay, that's interesting. That's nice.
Because we are working all over Bahrain, so there's a lot of them. And not only Bahrain, there are students down in India as well. So there are a lot of students out there. It will go in thousands if I start counting from the day I started. Okay. Yeah.
When did you start this initiative?
Well, it's all started back in 2005.
Yeah. Okay. So it's almost 19 years.
Almost 20 years.
20 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And I would move to one of them, the Champion of Champion Awards from India.
Yes.
I know it's a great feeling, isn't it? The trophy is right here.
It's surreal. It still feels like a dream.
Isn't it? Okay. So tell us about your experience about this winning moment. You said it's like a dream, but still, how was that particular moment when you kissed the trophy?
Oh, it was, to be frank, it was quite a surprise. As much as we were looking forward to it, it came like a wave that just shook us all from our seats. And we didn't know what to do. We just jumped on the stage, and we were very grateful. We were very happy. We were very relieved that all of our commitment and efforts and discipline had come to something quite great. Yeah, it paid off really well. So it was, and it still feels like a dream, and an experience that I would forever remember as a memory that will go down in all of our basically our brains as something we cherish and just love so much.
I can see the passion. What about you? Can you explain to me, like, what was the championship like? How many teams were there totally?
There were, in total, there were five teams. Mm-hmm. And when we started our competition, it was like, as any other team, we were just a bit nervous and all. We started, the main thing was our kriyas that we had to do. We started off with the kriyas, which is a cleansing technique that we learned. We had to do the dandhoti. We had to insert pipe in our mouth, 3 feet pipe, to remove the excess mucus and acidity from our stomach.
Oh, you had to do this, perform this?
That was the main thing that we had to do. So we were the only team who did that. Rest of the all teams, they just backed out. They couldn't do that. Mm-hmm. So that was when we did that. We were waiting actually for the other teams to perform. So when we finished off our performance and everything, it was really, really a proud moment for us to be doing that, coming all the way from Bahrain, and we were doing it and we achieved something very big. So it was really amazing moment at that time.
Yeah, I can feel that, because you said coming all the way from Bahrain to the land of yoga.
Exactly.
And performing it at its best. Yes, it's really giving me goosebumps.
Yes.
I must really congratulate you, for all the efforts. I'll go back to your guru again. Ehsan, about the competition as such. What kind of preparations did you do? And before that, maybe I'll also ask, did you know, these are the events that you have to do there for the competition? Yeah. You knew it?
Yeah, we had a big event called Manthan back in June. Which we basically jointly did with Bikas. And during that time, we had this whole pre-conference work where we spoke about the Olympiad basically coming in, which is not going to be based on to the physical aspect, because yoga has become a very commercial physical aspect for people. It's more like recreation right now. But we wanted to bring it down towards the true yogi methods, the true yogi ways. So the whole competition was based on to the kriyas, which is basically the satkarmas and all, where they go through cleansing processes, even putting a rubber through the nose and taking out from the mouth. And even women, like these girls did the woman in the morning, and a woman was basically where you drink 2 liters of water, throw up, in order to do the cleaning work, and many other very high advanced cleaning techniques, which is done in the mountains and for thousands of years. So this whole thing was to have a benchmark which our team has made, which is on an international level, and was not only the posters, not only the kriya, it was also about the knowledge base, where it was supposed to be about Gyan Yoga, and was also about 30 minutes of sitting into meditation, 30 minutes just in meditation without falling asleep. And it was to a very different level. So they have brought a standard to a very different level, and we were preparing this. The whole vision started 2 years back, and we finished our examinations. They are level 3. We all are level 3 advanced teachers and evaluators from YCB board, which is Government of India, Ministry of Ayush. So they were trained, there were 15, we were 15 of us who were getting ready for that particular courses and all. So after finishing these courses, this was our next step to go in, but they had no clue where they're going to. So this was all set 2 years back, but it all came to reality after 2 years. And we set up a benchmark for the whole world that yoga is just not about posture, it's about the kriyas and bandhas and mudras. Also, we had mudras, we had bandhas also. So it's a whole holistic way of putting it together. That's how it was. It was amazing.
Okay, and the other teams, where were they from? Like the other 4 teams?
We had Kenya, we had Nigeria, we had China, we had Syria, and we also have Bahrain. And
like so none from India?
What they did was no ways you can compete with India. No ways. It's impossible. You're because right. This is something India has been doing since last many years, and the level of work over there is insane. I mean, it's not comparable to anywhere in the world. So they for the nationals there was a national competition. So for the locals it was all the national competitions to compete in their levels, and they are on a very next level. Right. And for us, we were the international teams where we had to compete with only the international team. So the whole point is to bring yoga, which is in India, to a standard in the international as well, and we like our team has set those standards up right now. So we're expecting it to be on the next level, where we're looking forward for yoga to be a part of Olympics later. Right. But it's a long vision. We are looking at 7 to 8 years. It's a long vision. Yeah.
Right, but then dreams have to be pursued.
Oh yes,
isn't it?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Coming back to you, the girls again. The young age that you are in, and you're such an inspiration to young Bahrainis. And as Ehsan just now put it, yoga is coming to or take a position like a recreation. Like you see everybody doing yoga here and there, yes, as an exercise, or maybe to reduce weight, etc., isn't it? So, but as what Ehsan explained, it's beyond that. Yes. It was beyond that. So what would be your message? How long have you been practicing yoga?
I have been practicing for almost 5 years.
5 years.
And I came into yoga also to have some flexibility, to do as sports, but it is way beyond that. I learned, basically we call Ehsan our Baba. He's our mentor, our Baba. He teaches us life skills to move in life and to move forward. So yoga is basically our lifestyle. So we actually have our discipline, waking up in the morning and following the disciplines, and our doing our kriyas in the morning. It's like our lifestyle now. We are just part of it at the moment. So for us, yoga is basically not an exercise, not a sport. It's basically we are living it now.
What do you do in life? Like, are you working or studying?
I am a totally different. I am a teacher. I'm a preschool teacher, actually.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So coming from a preschool teacher and then a total shift coming to yoga is two different things for me.
You still teach?
Yes, I'm still teaching.
So do you pass on little tricks of yoga to your little ones? Do you do that?
Yes, my children, they always starts with pranayamas in the morning. The morning session starts with that with them. So they always do the relaxing exercises before we start off the lesson, and they always go like, oh yeah, this feels good, now we are ready to start our lesson.
That's interesting. Yes. Yeah. What about you? What do you do?
I'm an interior designer, actually. Yeah. Okay. So it's quite a completely different field. Yeah. Very busy, always on the run kind of field. So to me, yoga balances this kind of lifestyle, because my work is very demanding. It requires a lot of hard work. It requires a lot of time, a lot of sitting in the office, a lot of moving around in construction sites. So at the end of the day, or to start the day, there's always a bit of yoga to balance this kind of I wouldn't want to call it stressful. I still do enjoy interior design very much, to be frank. So yoga is just my me time, and how I want to maintain a positive mindset that actually keeps me going through my regular lifestyle.
Right. So both of you explained the concept and very beautifully. But still, do you think there's a big gap out there, especially among the youngsters who see yoga just as an exercise or a technique that would help them for a shorter period? Why do you think this gap is there? What is lacking in this essence that you have learned, or the soul of yoga which you have learned is not reaching to the youngsters of today who are very fast and quick in picking up everything, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. And I agree with you. I believe because yoga is not delivered quite from its origin in most of the areas. So it's taken more as a business. It's taken more as
it's
a luxury.
A lot commercialized and luxury. Luxurious commercial.
Yes. So you will see people commercializing it as a luxury, like it's a luxury for you to be doing this, and you'll see at the same time a lot of high prices or insanely crazy prices, and what you get on the other end is like you said, it's just a momentary exercise and then you go back, which is I'm not trying to put that down. It's always good to move regardless of the point or the way you're delivering it. It's just the essence of yoga is, or the purpose and the essence of yoga is a bit deeper than just moving your body or just putting on a split, for example, or a back bend. It's way beyond that. It's a philosophy. So, and we have studied that, we have adopted that in our studies and in our teaching. So it's a philosophy that you need to adopt as a lifestyle, you need to live by, instead of just taking it as a way to be flexible or a way to be fit physically without being fit mentally.
Great. Ehsan, you can be proud because the way your students explain the concept shows what you have really instilled in them. And I no more wonder why the champions brought back the championship, So they really know what they're doing there. Coming back to the winning aspect of this great award, I would want to hear from you. What do you think this award means to Bahrain?
Well, it means a lot because, it's being pioneer to something which was never there, and taking it to a next level of holistic, in fact, is where our next step is going to be. For everybody to move off the mat into doing a complete different work. Let's suppose if we have yoga being introduced to people without knowing the results, like everybody does yoga, but they don't have results coming in. We're moving it forward to different directions. It is going to be sports as well as research and development. Okay. So when we talk about research and development, sports can be started with the kids in the schools on that basis, because 7 years or whatever time is we're looking forward, it can be taken over there. But at the same time, we also want it to be holistic with the children as well. On the other side, when we talk about the whole impact done through this competition, which is just a sports or a whole holistic work, when we talk about competition, it's all about winning and losing. But the main concept is, when someone is doing yoga, there is no particular evidence into is it really working or not. Right, so we are into the phases where we develop tools here itself, which is basically props and different tools we make over here itself, and the readings, the input which will come through those people doing yoga is the next step where we're taking it over. Right, for them to go through this whole process of having sinuses and allergies and indigestion and everything, after we went through a massive learning and massive implementation, they don't have sinuses anymore. They don't have, the pH level of their stomach is perfectly great. And if we can bring that into let's say all the sectors, and then providing with an evidence that it is actually working is what we are heading on next to. That's what we are. We already signed up MOUs between different universities, so there'll be a lot of research work going over here as well as back in India. So it's a front and back work where we are going to bring it with an evidence. Like someone really sitting into meditation, and we don't even know if that person is really meditating or just wandering around, because there is no evidence to that. But if we put that person with different kind of tools to measure their readings of gamma rays and everything going on, then we actually know whether it's just working or just a time pass. So there's a lot of different researches coming later in terms of wellness and health and sports altogether.
So I'm very happy that I read that the team was supported by the Bahrain Olympic Committee. How would you explain, or what are the supports that you, or encouragement that you received in this championship and beyond from the government?
Right. We go back to the June 2023, where we ran the very first showcase for yoga asana as a sports in the mountain conclave, which we conducted with Vikas. That was a time when we had government officials out over there, including the Bahrain Olympic Committee too, and looking at the standards we have set up within Bahrain for yoga to be a sports in the very highly skilled display which we did. It was very convincing and very great for Bahrain Olympic Committee to say yes, let's put it as a sports later. Mm-hmm. So we're taking directions. We're still working on it, and hopefully it will shape up.
Right. And Efsan, is this your full-time job? Are you anything else by profession? Do you do?
Yeah. Right now it's a full-time job. Till last September I was doing 2 jobs. So okay. Now it's a full-time job because I'm devoting the remaining life into what I'm doing right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And you said you have thousands of students. Like, what is the mix like? Is it Bahraini, non-Bahraini?
It's all.
Okay. It's all. I asked you this question because I wanted to see like how much yoga is seeping into the Bahraini culture, because I see a lot of people going for yoga, as I said earlier, for their own reasons and purposes. Yes. But do you think it's really out there? You can do a lot more. How do you assess the?
Yeah. We're taking it up to the next level of therapies. That's what we are doing. I mean, the studio is not only about the way we work on the spinal. I mean, we have evidence of work which we have done before and after of people suffering from different diseases, especially physical disease, which is spondylosis, scoliosis and slip disc and cervical issues, and even CP and MS patients. Their before and after work, which we have displayed. I've been working on that on a very beautiful way. So the way people are going to come into is when they see the results. Mm-hmm. It's just not since everybody is doing it, we're doing it. No, we are not. We are delivering a beautiful work out over there, and I mean, all thanks to the media, all thanks to you all, that the awareness and the voice is going out, and it's getting more beautiful, and people are getting benefited with this.
Right. Before we come to the close, I would once again come back to the women out here. What is one moment that you recollect in the championship preparation or performance which is stuck, which remains in your memory as something different or something special?
I actually have 2.
Okay.
The first one was performing the Dant Dhoti and beside Baba. That was just stepping on the stage and then doing it. That was the first one that I cannot forget, because we made history over there, because everyone does asanas. And the second one, when the champion of champion trophy was announced, and we were jumping all with cheerfulness. That was these were my 2 moments, bringing the trophy back.
Great.
Yes.
And what about you?
Yeah, actually, I would say the same. It's almost exactly the same, because as a team, we shared these 2 moments together, and these were the 2 magical moments, because like Nuzhat explained, the Dant was one of the most core of the competition as something to be done. And when that was done, it was quite an achievement. And then when we got the champion of champions trophy, that we did not see coming. Like we had
repeated, both of you said you did not see coming. Why did you not see coming, especially when you saw that this particular thing the other team did not perform? Why did you see it not coming? Is there any reason?
Maybe because it was our first time competing.
Okay.
We traveled all the way from Bahrain to the land of yoga, and there were quite.
Was this your first time going to India?
Yes, it was our first
time. How was
It was
India?
My first time.
Yeah. How was India?
Oh, very colorful. It's wow. It was amazing. It took us by yeah. I loved it. I personally loved it, and all of us, we really loved it. Everyone is really smiling over there. It's very welcoming. It's very the culture is beautiful. There is so much to offer and so much to see and so much to do and so much to eat.
Maybe that's why India and Bahrain complement very well, because I would say the same thing about Bahrainis. The country is ever so smiling and so welcoming, and that's why we share this beautiful friendship. And I'm very happy to be sitting with a team who has brought home a trophy from my country, especially as the country is going to celebrate its 75th Republic Day, on January 26th. And it's such a beautiful occasion. And we're really thankful to have the champion of champions with us on this episode of Story Loom. Before we wind up the show, I would like to have your wrapping comments and message to our viewers, please. We'll start with you, then to Nusrat, and then we'll come back to Ehsan.
Okay, so thank you again so much for having us. We're very grateful and we're very honored to be here. And I'm looking forward to what's coming, how to spread yoga on a positive level, on a therapeutic level, more in Bahrain and across the world with everyone.
Being creatively innovative, do you find any ways of getting yoga down into your profession of interior designing?
Oh, very much, yes. I'm actually trying to find my way through that. I'm bringing it, at least starting with some of my colleagues, introducing them. Some of them are already into it. I'm trying to spread it a bit more and maybe correct some misconceptions about it as well. So yeah, I very much see a way of yoga being introduced into a lot of different fields.
Great. Nusrat?
It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much. For myself, I am really, really looking forward with Ehsan sir, with Baba, to work with the little kids and to bring yoga and all of the relaxing moments to basically children nowadays. They are very hyperly active, right? Mm-hmm. So I am really looking forward to working on a therapeutic part with on yoga with the kids with Baba alongside. Yes.
Thank you very much. And we come to the man himself for the concluding notes. Ehsan, what is your message to the world out there and to the viewers of the 973 on yoga and beyond, and how can this be adopted as a lifestyle, as we heard from your students?
All right. Okay, I would want people to adapt yoga as a complete life. Where it's coming from a very scientific approach with a lot of evidences now that it really, really works. And if they can start adapting the complete cycle of yoga and meditation and dhyana and kriyas and bandhas and satkarmas, everything together plays a major, major role. There are a lot of people out over there who have been losing their postures in any fields possible. The stressful mind, the sad mind drops the body. But if we can help them with complete scientific approach of the yoga, then that head can be lifted up with better breathing and better lungs and better health and better postures. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
a lot for joining us. And yes, we missed Zahra and Dr. Komal and Rudresh. A hi from all of us here to you three and the rest of the yoga lovers and your team. We wish you all the very best in all your future aspirations, in all that goodness and wellness that you have promised for the community.
Thank you so much.
Well, I would describe this session indeed as a story, because we've all been hearing about yoga and yoga practices, but I think the beautiful way these two young women out here explained the philosophy of yoga, the soul of yoga, hats off to the man behind, Ehsan. It was amazing, a story loom indeed. So let's look for the soul in everything that we come across, and yoga indeed has a soul in it with a deeper philosophy. This is Raji Unikrishnan signing off. Good night.